Oh, we did it. We're here. We got everybody in. And we hope we have a seat for everybody. We have a few more open right here if needed, okay? Oh, and a few more up in the front row as well. Good, good. Not anymore. Nope, sorry. Yeah, okay. Good, good. Well, welcome everybody to Unity of Bellingham. Happy Christmas Eve. We're so happy you could join us this evening. If this is your first time coming here tonight, if you would just raise your hand, we would love to just send you a warm welcome smile. And we're so happy you're here and joining us tonight. Thank you so much. And we'd love you to know that whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are always welcome here. Okay, so this evening's program is a little different from our Sunday, and there's going to be people moving around the building as we move through our program, and we invite you to turn around and move in your chair and make yourselves comfortable so that you're able to see too. So move around as you see fit. And this program took a lot of effort and a lot of time by a number of people, and we want to start off with a couple of thank yous to Kathy and Marcia, our Unity Choir, our Pilgrim players, our faithful AV team back there, and everybody else who's worked hard to make this program possible tonight. Thank you. So we're going to begin by lighting our Christ candle this evening. The Christ candle, which represents the Christ essence, which is within each and every one of us, the birth of which we celebrate tonight. And then each Sunday, this Advent, we've been lighting a candle, and tonight we complete our circle. So we had faith, and hope, and love. Might be a two finger, there we go. Love. Love is hard, sometimes. No kidding. And we complete the circle. Put a faith candle. Oh, no, I'm good. I've got this. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. I don't think I want to take it out of the holder. And then our final one tonight is we complete with joy. Welcome, Christmas.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Reverend Frank, and I'm the minister here at Unity of Bellingham. And we start our Christmas service with some stories. And the first one comes from the Gospel of Luke, and it goes back to a time when there was an elder couple, Zachariah and Elizabeth, and they thought that they would never have children. And an angel comes and tells Elizabeth, not so fast. Something new is being birthed in you, with you, through you, even at this time of your life. And so she's pregnant. And meanwhile, in the Gospel of Luke, the same angel comes to a young woman named Mary. And the same message, she says, something new is being birthed in you. Something new and present is happening not to you, but through you. A new presence, a new life, a Christ energy is being born through you for each other, for the world. So we have these two amazing things. And meanwhile, over in the Gospel of Matthew, the same angel, man, is busy, shows up to this guy, Joseph, and says, your fiance, she's pregnant, and don't be afraid. And this is someone you need to take care of. Our co-founder of Unity, Charles Fillmore, talks about Joseph being symbolic of deep wisdom and Mary being symbolic of overwhelming love. So love and wisdom are called together. They have a mission. They have something to do. And Mary, she goes and visits Elizabeth, and Elizabeth has her baby, and it's John the Baptist, the person to be known as John the Baptist. And then the big day comes, and it goes like this. About that time, Caesar Augustus ordered a census to be taken throughout the entire empire. And this was the first census when Quirinius was governor of Syria, and everyone had to travel to their own ancestral hometown to be accounted for. And so Joseph went from the Galilee town of Nazareth up to Bethlehem in Judea. And by the way, it's about 90 miles on caravan, dirt roads. You get the idea. Which was David's town for the census. And as a descendant of David, he had to go there. And he went with Mary, his fiancée, who was pregnant. And while they were there, the time came for her to give birth. She gave birth to a son, her firstborn, and she wrapped him in a blanket, and she laid him in a manger because there was no room for them in the inn. And then right after that, the angels go off in Luke, and they announce to shepherds in the field who say, there's something wonderful, something giving birth, something amazing happening. You need to get down to Bethlehem and see what's going on. So these shepherds with their families, they all gathered around, and they went into Bethlehem to see this amazing thing. And meanwhile, then in the Gospel of Matthew, it talks about a star was shining, and wise people, magi from the east, also knew something was happening. So all these events, stars, angels, but in the midst of it all, the core event was this man and woman who were traveling like 90 miles on foot and donkey and caravan. And when they got there, they said they had to stay in the stable because there was no room in the inn. And lots of things have happened in the tradition. You can imagine them knocking on the door of different family members. Hey, do you have any room for us? We showed up, and you think, well, why didn't they let them know ahead of time? Well, no text, no cell phones, no U.S. post office. They showed up. They knocked on the door. Any room here? And people kept saying, we just don't have room. We don't have room. We don't have room in the inn. We don't have room in our house. We don't have room. There's a miracle going on here. There's something amazing. There's something wanting to give birth, but we don't have room. And so we wondered, what is it? What is it that keeps us on our journey to birth this newborn life, this Christ essence, that our discovery for our lucid, our true, our deepest, real self? What is it that keeps us from allowing that energy into our lives? And so with that, I invite you to our Christmas Eve play, where we have pilgrims. And you might think of them as Mary and Joseph 2,000 years ago in Bethlehem. Or you might think of them as you and me living our life. But the question is, something wants to give birth in us. How does that unfold? And with that, I present to you the Pilgrim Players.
Good evening. We are pilgrims on a journey. We have been traveling a long time and need a place to rest. You see, we know something new and wonderful is being birthed in our lives, and we're on our way to discovering that.
We are seeking friends who want to join us in experiencing a fresh energy, a renewed vision, and an exciting path forward. We know a time for transformation is upon us. Perhaps we can experience this renewal with you. Is this the place? May we come in?
I do not think this is the place for you. We are struggling so much right now. So much anxiety right now over money, the economy, and our own personal financial situation. We do not think this is a place for you to rest, as we are just so worried and anxious ourselves. We just cannot seem to find our abundance.
But we would like to experience the birth of something new in our lives. We just can't seem to find a sense of abundance and prosperity, and we're exhausted from trying. But perhaps we could join you in seeking this place where something new and beautiful and abundant could come alive in our lives too.
Yes. Well, if we cannot come into your place, then why don't you come with us? Together, we'll find a place where we can experience a transformation, a deeper sense of peace and connectedness, a place where we birth our heart's desire. Let's go together.
Little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie above thy deep and dreamless sleep. The silent stars go by, yet in thy dark street shineth the everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight. For Christ is born of Mary and gathered all above. While mortals sleep, the angels keep their watch of wondering love. O morning stars together proclaim the holy birth, and praises sing to God the King, and peace to all on earth.
Good evening. We are pilgrims on a journey. We have been traveling a long time and we need a place to rest. You see, we know something new and wonderful is to be birthed into our lives, and we're on our way to discovering this.
We are seeking friends who want to join us in experiencing a fresh energy, a renewed vision, and an exciting path forward. We know a time for transformation is upon us. Perhaps we can experience this renewal with you. Is this the place? May we come in?
Find a new community that will realize that I have a purpose, that there's someplace that I can go, that we're going somewhere. It seems that maybe
Why don't you come with us? It sounds better with the microphone. Together, we'll find a place where we can experience a transformation, a deeper sense of peace and connectedness, a place where we can birth to our heart's desire. Let's all go together.
In the stillness we sing of a King. Silent night, holy night, and through starlight we hear angels sing. The first Noel, the angel did sing, was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay. In fields where they lay keeping their sheep. On a cold winter's night that was so deep. Away in a manger, no crib for a bed, the little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. The stars in the night sky looked down where he lay. The little Lord Jesus was asleep on the hay. In the stillness a child now is born. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child. Holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace. In heavenly peace. In the stillness we sing of a King.
And even pilgrims need a chance to stop and experience a moment in the stillness. In the stillness. So I invite you, if you're comfortable, to close your eyes for a moment. Just put your feet comfortably on the floor. And take a cleansing breath. I invite you to sink down into that center place in your heart. Maybe it feels like taking a journey where we let cares and concerns of all that's going on around us right now just melt away, where we sink into a moment of silence, into a place of stillness. And we take a breath and just relax into the presence of that temple of our being and the heart-centered nature that we are. In that place where we may connect with the deepest truth of who we are, our deepest real self, our lucid self, our awakening self, our awakened self, our Christ nature within. And we say maybe a mantra: with joy, I am ready for the birth of the Christ within. With joy, I am ready for the birth of the Christ within. Maybe say that with me once. With joy, I am ready for the birth of the Christ within. And one more time, softly. With joy, I am ready for the birth of the Christ within. And take that mantra in this moment of stillness as we sit in the silence, in the silence. And we know we can return to this place, this sacred temple of our hearts, this delicious place of stillness and silence. It is a treasure that is always available to us, anytime, any place. So with a deep breath and saying once again, with joy I am ready for the birth of the Christ within. Deep breath. Loosen your shoulders, wiggle your fingers, and we come back to the room and we join our pilgrim players as they continue their journey.
Good evening. We are pilgrims on a journey. We have been traveling a long time and we are in need of rest. You see, we know something new and wonderful is being birthed in our lives, and we are on our way to discovering that.
We are seeking friends who want to join us in experiencing a fresh energy, a renewed vision, and an exciting path forward. We know a time for transformation is upon us. Perhaps we can experience this renewal with you. Is this the place? May we come in?
Okay. We are so glad to see your friendly faces at our door. With all the events going on in the world today, I feel frightened, just so frightened to meet someone heartbreaking information about wars between Russia and Ukraine, between Israel and Gaza, and even violence here in the United States. We just want the violence to stop.
Please forgive us for being so jumpy. We can't seem to shake off this sense of dread. I'm sorry, we aren't in a very uplifted place. We really do not have a sense of renewed vision and excitement for the future. But we would sure like to find such a place. Can we come with you?
Yes. Well, if we cannot come into your place, then why don't you come with us? Yes. Together, we'll find a place where we can experience a transformation, a deeper sense of peace and connectedness, a place where we can birth to our heart's desire. Let's all go together.
Celebrate this joyful season now and throughout the year. May your heart be merry. Welcome, Spirit of Christmas.
Good evening. We are pilgrims on a journey. We have been traveling a long time, and we need a place to rest. You see, we know something wonderful is being birthed in our lives, and we're on our way to discovering that.
We are seeking friends who want to join us in experiencing a fresh energy, a renewed vision, and an exciting path forward. We know a time for transformation is upon us. Perhaps we can experience this renewal with you. Is this the place? May we come in?
Hello, I would love to invite you in, but I am just not feeling well. I want to feel whole. I have been dealing with sickness for such a long while now. The feeling all of my energy is really zapped. I still want to get better, but I just don't feel myself healing, or it seems to be taking a long time. I simply don't feel well enough to have you in.
And for me, it's really a challenge. As I get older, my energy just isn't what it used to be, and I don't have the vigor that I experienced. Yet I see the excitement in all of your faces and what you're on this journey about. So perhaps we could come with you, although for me to birth something new at my age seems a little bit unreasonable. However, I'm really open and willing to give it a chance and come with you if we could join you.
Yes, absolutely. If we cannot come into your place, then why don't you come with us? Together, we'll find a place where we can experience a transformation, a deeper sense of peace and connectedness, a place where we birth our heart's desires. Let's all go together.
Yes, let's go.
Great news, great joy, great light shining on the world. Great day, great hope, there's a great light shining on the world. There's a great light shining on the world.
Shepherds, lift your voice on high, proclaim to everyone.
A new life is drawing nigh, the Messiah now has come. People of the world rejoice, let the celebration start. Come and make a joyful noise, God has sent to us his heart. Glory to God, glory in the highest, glory to God, let the song begin. Glory to God, glory in the highest, come and join the great Amen. Come and join the great Amen. Great news, great joy, great light shining on the world. Great day, great hope, there's a great light shining on the world. There's a great light shining on the world. Great news, great joy, great light shining on the world. Great day, great hope, there's a great light shining on the world. There's a great light shining on the world. There's a great light shining on the great news, great joy, great light shining on the world.
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We are pilgrims on a journey. We have been traveling a long time and need a place to rest. You see, we know something new and wonderful is being birthed in our lives, and we're on our way to discovering this.
Indeed.
We are seeking friends who want to join us in experiencing a fresh energy, a renewed vision, and an exciting path forward. We know a time for transformation is upon us. Perhaps we can experience this renewal with you. I know in my heart that this is the place.
What do you think? Yes, this is the place. Yeah, you found it. Come in, all who pilgrim, all who travel far, all who seek relief from economic stress and looking for abundance and want new relationships and searching for community and working through grief and dealing with peace and anxiousness and the situations in the world and looking at issues of health and wholeness and abundance and well-being. And they came to the right place. They came to the right place because it's Christmas Eve. And there's something to be said. There's something to be said for all of these things that come up for us in our humanity. And Christmas is a night of love. But I want to say something about love because, that word gets used in a lot of different ways. But we're talking about the love that we deal with that's actually a bit messy sometimes. A love that sometimes is a bit complicated. A love that sometimes gets into the real stuff of how do I love when I have these issues of anxiety perhaps about financial things or issues perhaps about health and issues in the world and I think it's a good one about aging. I have issues about I want to love my body, I want to love myself, I want to love what's going on, but I'm sorer when I get up in the morning. I don't love that. Or do we love it? It's about loving the real stuff of our humanity because at Christmas, we have this amazing thing where this person, Jesus, who is known, and part of this tradition is we have Jesus born and we have a Christ that's born to Jesus and to all that hear this story and that awakens in all the hearts that are touched by this event. I think Jesus' birth, this Christmas story, it's a great cultural story, and it can be like a parable, but in some ways, to me, it feels like something even more, like a transmission. There's a reason that this story gets told over and over and over for thousands of years. There's something we intuit about this story that we just like. It's like, wait. This Jesus, this new ruler, this new divine being didn't show up like what everybody thought he would be. Didn't show up like the Romans, didn't show up like the ruler, didn't show up with an iron fist, showed up vulnerable, just young, needy. We've all been around babies, needy, staying up all night, crying, totally willing to be present to those they were around. And so there's a message in that Christmas story. It also gets reflected in a great teaching that Jesus did called the Beatitudes. He both addresses it and it's told in the story. And in the first one, we have these pilgrims that are talking about abundance. And there's this sense of anxiety sometimes around the financial situations, and we say, oh my God, the economy, what's going to happen? There's some fear, and we go through our life, and constantly there's these things that come up about money, economy, abundance, what's available, prosperity, and sometimes they can keep that energy, that rebirth of the Christ energy, that rebirth of our full self from fully manifesting. And we know love conquers all fear. And so there's a place in love to move past it. There's a beatitude that Jesus says, you're blessed when you are at the end of your rope, because with less of you, there is more of God, and then there's more of God's rule. You're blessed. That's like the opposite. You're blessed when you're at the end of your rope. Why? Because we get into that deep truth of love, and it gets messy. And sometimes we're at the end of our rope and we're like, what, vulnerable? Like Jesus in a manger? I mean, this is where the animals lived. Talk about messy. Has anyone mucked stalls before? It's smelly. It's messy. It's like what love can be. the real thing, the full circuit of love. How blessed you are when you're at the end of the rope. Then there's more space for God and for God's rule. And I think about in the story of Jesus that traveled at the end of the rope, living at the end and living vulnerable, Mary and Joseph probably as well. And all of a sudden, they both heard an angel message. They both were true to what they understood as the purpose and the unfolding of their life. They were connected when they say they talked to an angel. What is that? I mean, in some ways, when we did a meditation, to me, that's where I get the angel voices, when we sit in the silence and the quiet, and we can allow that divine download into our hearts, and we get this sense of, here's the next right and perfect unfolding step for me in my path, in my life, aligned and in harmony with the divine. And so Mary and Joseph did that, and they went forward. And sure enough, if there was any sense of abundance, because they were true to this path, who shows up? But these magi from the east with like gold and frankincense and myrrh. Great story. Staying attuned to what was their calling, they were provided for in ways beyond their imagination. Yeah, this is the place. This is the story you want to hear. And there's people sometimes, it's common, and when you talk to our silent unity and we ask them, it's a 24-hour prayer line, and you ask them, what do people call for prayer? What's the number one issue? You know what they say? Loneliness, disconnection. Ever since COVID especially, my friend group dissolved. The people I used to hang out with, I've lost a lot of that. Some of the friends moved on, and there's a sense for many of isolation. And there's a piece in here where, again, in the Beatitudes, where there's a story that says, "Blessed when you have lost all that is most dear to you. Only then can you be embraced by the one that is most dear to you." Blessed are you when you've lost what is dear to you. Then you can feel and be blessed by the one that is most dear. There's something in that sense of loneliness, and I mean really feeling it. Really feeling that loss, really feeling the grief. Grief and loss are oftentimes like a spiritual practice. And we might want to avoid them. They're too messy, they're too uncomfortable. People say, if I go into that loss and I really feel it, I'll never come out of it. You'll come out of it even more fully alive. The Jesus who came into a place not of everything was fine in a rich place. He came in a stable. This is incarnational stuff. This is saying the divine is born in the very nitty-gritty stuff, including loss and including grief. We practice it. We experience. We get the full sense of that feeling in our hearts. And it's a portal into a deeper sense of connection with the divine and with real love, that real, truthful love that pulls us and brings us together in harmony. And we also have people who are saying, and we hear this a lot, I just want peace in the world. Every time I turn on the TV, now what? I'm afraid to turn on the news. And it drives us crazy. It creates anxiety oftentimes. And there's even violence, also we know, we like to say, look what's going on in the world. Look what's going on in our neighborhoods. Look what's going on in the country. Look what's going on all around us. And we yearn for that peace in our hearts. How blessed are you when you can show people how to cooperate instead of how to compete or to fight. That's when you discover who you really are, and that's when you discover your place in God's family. In other words, another way of saying that is, blessed are the peacemakers. They will be children of the divine. It's a sense that when we really ache for peace, part of that urging, that aching for peace is because there's something that is being called through us. So these things happening are not happening to us. It is a call for the divine that wants to move through us and activate our lives in a new way. When we feel that need for peace, like, I want to see more peace in the world, it is a calling for us to become the very peacemakers that we want to see. It doesn't start with getting peace in the world. It starts with me and you and us and what we have already. And then from what we have, we move forward and become the givers, the generous givers. We want peace. We don't start with wanting to receive it. We start with going, I am it. I bring it. I share it. It comes through me, divine working through me, and then I will send that peace out. And then we watch the beauty of how the peace moves around. You know, it's very interesting. I read you this story. They talked about Quirinius, the governor who ordered the census. Man, what a bully. I want everyone to get on the roads and go to your hometowns. Like, really? Really? I mean, can't you count people different? But you know, they're Romans at the time. They're like, I'll do what I want, and I'll push you around, and that's his name, Quirinius, by the way. If you look up the meaning of the name, it's called armed peace. That's what it means. Armed peace. Romans were good at that, peace through the sword, It's going to be peace because if it's not, we'll kill you. Be peaceful or else. We do that at peace rallies, right? I want peace. What? Shut up. Smack them with our peace sign, right? It starts with us. It starts with us. Blessed are the peacemakers. Blessed are those who bring the peace. And so we come when we look for it. It's just a sign that that's alive in us. Let's be the ones to bring it. Let's be the ones to bring it. And finally, I love this final one where with another piece of our hearts, the heart of our door. You saw the metaphor. This is all about not doors, but the doors of our heart. What keeps the doors of our heart closed to this awakened new energy, this new Christ light that's ready to awaken within us? What closes the doors of our heart? And this final one is I'm too ill, I'm too old. Oh, we hear that one a lot. Not from me. So there's a piece that Jesus said in the Beatitudes. You're blessed when you're content with just who you are. No more, no less. And that's the moment you find yourself proud owners of everything that can't be bought. You are blessed when you are content with just who you are. No more and no less. Be content with just who you are. And I think about, the reason I brought up that story about aging, you did that so well, Rosemary, was I told you the one story, because this whole gospel starts with, it doesn't start with Mary getting pregnant. No. It starts with Elizabeth getting pregnant. Aged Elizabeth got pregnant with Zachariah in the temple. And when the angel came and told Zachariah, your wife Elizabeth's going to be pregnant, he laughed at the angel. Then the angel went, okay, struck him where he couldn't speak. He couldn't speak for a year. Yeah, so I guess you don't argue with angels, right? It's like, no, that can't be possible. I'm too old. And the story is that, like, when the divine energy, you can say it as an angel's calling. You could say that as what you hear in your meditation in the silence. You can say that when I do my practice of journaling or writing or however it is that unfolds, walking in nature, walking my dog in the woods. People have mystic breakthroughs, walking dogs in an alder forest. Whatever that is that you hear that aligns and you feel that forward energy, the last thing we want to say is, nah, not me. I'm too old. I'm too ill. I've got problems. Can't be me. Yeah, it's you. It's you. It's you. I love to watch who's laughing right now. We'll talk later. How blessed you are when you are content with who you are as a loving human being in all of its messiness. All of its messiness. The divine, this Jesus, did not show up in a palace. He showed up in a stall, incarnate. And because the divine became human in a very messy way, what that means is all our human mess is sacred. And we don't run from it. We name it, we acknowledge it, we ask for help and community, we work through it, we go on a pilgrimage, and we find ourselves to that Christmas place, that manger, where love, even love in a manger, reigns. Even love in a manger, messy love. And it's beautiful. And it's sacred. And so, I'm going to start us off. I'm going to light my candle first. This is a Christ candle that celebrates the fact that I acknowledge that the light of the Christ is within me. I also see the light of the Christ within each of you. Does everyone have a candle? Yes. What we're going to do is first I'm going to light our pilgrim players. And then what we're going to ask you to do is you sort of watch them walking around, right? Now it's your turn. What we want to ask you to do is take turns, and by rows, we walk around the back, and you can just walk around the end, and feel free to come through the door and come forward and get your light lit by one of the pilgrim players. If you don't feel like you can come up right now, or that's very difficult, the two folks on the end, just raise your hand, and they'll come to you and bring you a light. I behold the Christ light in you. 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 And I behold the Christ light in you. 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 And I behold the Christ light in you. Just feel free to come forward. Oh, okay. Would you go around the back? Go around the back. Around the back. Around the back. Around the back. Just go up to the front. Go.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace.
Please join us singing Silent Night.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon Lord, at thy birth. Holy light, perfect light, Christ of God, oh, how bright does thy Spirit shine always, healing, blessing all each day. With thy heavenly love, with thy heavenly love.
Candles high. Just take a moment and look around the room. Each and every one of you, humans just deep in that place of love. Yeah, I know, sometimes it's messy, it's difficult, it's challenging, it's mysterious. This is incarnational love. This is love showing up as a human, like each of us. Like each of us. And it's the truth of our nature, something born new in our life. Being born is born, and I affirm it is being born in you. And it is good, and all is well, and all is well, and all manner of things are well. And so it is. And the saddest part of the candlelight service, I know. Doesn't that drive you crazy? And so a couple just announcements before our final song, and we can bring up the lights now, Aaron, if you'd like. And there's 2 baskets in the back. One is a long basket where we put our candles as you leave. Back here by where Janae's standing in the pink vest. Great vest, Janae. And also there's a basket with a red cloth inside it that Janae's lifting up. And if you would be so kind and would you like to leave a financial contribution for Unity of Bellingham tonight, on your way out the door, you can drop your candle, and anything you would like to share with us is truly a blessing for the ministry and the mission of Unity of Bellingham, for the good we do, the work we do in our city of Bellingham and the greater Pacific Northwest area. And we always, we bless every gift towards peace on our planet. And so it is. And amen.
Please join us singing Carol Sing. You've got the words.
Everybody up, please. Please stand.
Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful all ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies. With the angelic host proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Oh, come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and
and nature sing. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of his righteousness, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders